Hello, so our first lesson we're going to be working on this week is the Pythagorean theorem. So we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is the formula that we are going to use, and remember this is a review, so you should have seen this before. Okay, so first we're going to talk about right triangles. So to use this, you need a right triangle. So a right triangle is a triangle that has a 90-degree angle. So this angle right here is 90 degrees. This is shown by this little teeny square right there. That tells you that this is going to be a 90-degree angle. Okay, so on our 90-degree angle, we're going to have three sides. Sides A, sides B, and side C. So if we look at our formula, we have A, B, and C. Those line up. Now, you have your side A, you have your side B. Side C is also called the hypotenuse. Okay, your hypotenuse is always going to be across from your 90-degree angle. So for example, let's say I have a triangle like this. This is our 90-degree angle. This side right here is going to be the hypotenuse, or side C. Okay, because it is across from our 90-degree angle. This is also the longest side. Okay, so side C is going to be the longest. Okay, so now that we know the basics, let's get into our steps. So, step one. In order to use this, you have to have a right triangle. Okay. Step two, we need to know two sides. And then we are going to figure out the third side. Okay, so let's do one for example. Let's do sides. We're going to have let me draw our triangle here. Okay. So we're going to say this is side 3. This side is 3. This side is 4. And this is our C. Okay, we don't know this side. So if we go back to our formula, let's plug it in. So we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we're going to say that this is side A. This is side B. So let's take our A, we're going to put it here. Bring down your square, don't forget it. Okay, then we're going to take side B. Side B is 4. So again, bring down your squared. Okay, and then we don't know C, so we're going to leave that blank. So our first step, we have a right triangle. We know two sides. Okay, now we're going to figure out the third. So in order to do that, we are going to plug. Step one was to plug in our numbers, which we did. We plugged in 3 and we plugged in 4. Okay, so now we need to know step 2. Step 2 is to square sides, the two numbers that you know. So square two sides. Okay, so we're going to take 3 times 3, or also known as 3 squared, and we're going to get 9. We're going to bring down our plus sign. Then we're going to go to the next one, which is 4 times 4, or 4 squared, and we're going to bring that down, and we're going to get 16. Okay? And then lastly, bring down your second step. So we've plugged in our sides, and we've squared our two sides. Our next step, or step 3, is going to be add the two sides. So we have 9 and 16. We're going to add those up together. So you can do this. I'm okay with you using a calculator if you would like to, or, you know, for simple things such as 9 plus 16, that should be something you can do in your head. But we have 25. Okay. and then again, bring down your c squared. So we are stuck with this. So 25 is equal to c squared. So basically, we're going to take that 25 and fill it in for c. So now we have 9 plus 16 equals 25 squared. Okay, now we can't leave our answer as 25 squared. We need to simplify it even more. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the square root. Now, the square root is like undoing squared. So for example, 9 times 9 is 81, right? This would be 9 squared is equal to 81. Now to undo that, we would take 81 and we would square root it and we'd get 9. So for 25, we're looking for two of the same numbers that multiply together to equal 25. Now again, you can do this on your calculator or you can do it in your head. I know that 5 times 5 is equal to 25. So when we do our square root of 25, we're going to get 5, which means that when we go back up to our problem here, c is equal to 5, and that's going to be our answer. So if we go back to our steps, we plugged our numbers in, and we plugged our numbers in. We have 3 here, we have 4 here. Then we squared our two sides. We squared 3, we squared 4, we got 9 plus 16, okay? Then we added our two sides together and we got 25, which means that c is equal to 25. Okay, the last step is undoing the square, and we're going to find the square root of c, and then step 5 will be your answer. So our answer was 5. We found the square root of 25 and we got 5, so that was our answer. Now we're going to look at what if our triangle that looks like this, okay? What if we don't get sides A and B? What if we get side, we'll say A, which is 6, and then we're going to get side C, which is 12, because remember, this is our hypotenuse. It's across from our right angle. And then we don't know side B. So this one's going to be set up a little differently. We have A and we have C. So for this problem, we're going to start off the same, right? We're going to plug in our numbers. So in our formula, we have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay. Let's plug in our numbers. We know our A, we have 6 squared. We don't know our B, so we're going to leave that. But we do know our C squared, which is going to be 12. Okay, so just like the first one, let's square root our numbers. So let me switch colors here. Okay, we have 6 times 6. Is going to be 36, or 6 squared, plus, again, we don't know our B, so we'll just bring that down. And then we have our 12. 12 times 12 is 144, or 12 squared is 144. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit different from our last one. So we plugged our numbers in, we squared our sides, okay? We can't add our two sides together because they're on different sides, right? We can't do that. So our goal is to get B all by itself on this side of the equal sign, okay? It's going to be alone over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 36 from each side, okay? So when we're doing that, we're getting that B all alone on a side by itself. So when we take 144 and we subtract 36 from it, we get 108. Now, these two, because we have a positive and a negative, are going to cancel out. So that's no longer there. So now we're left with B squared equals 108. So that's when we go back to our steps, right? We now know that B is going to be equal to 108. Or in this problem, we did 25. Now we still have the problem of the square root being here, or the squared being here. So like we did in this one, we found the square root. In this case, it would be the square root of B, and we're going to get our answer. So again, you can take your 108 and you'll find the square root of it. You can use a calculator, you can use factorization, you can just figure it out on your own. You can use your head. If you already know it, that's fine. But we're gonna get a number that looks a little bit like this, which we can just go ahead and round to 10. So we're gonna say that side B is equal to 10. That's all.